Good morning, children. So, here we are going to start with a new chapter, that is human resources. So, here we are talking about the resources which are the human beings and they are there in the organization. This chapter talks about HRM, that is Human Resource Management. And every organization has a human resource department, that is HR department. So in this chapter we are going to do the meaning and definition of HRM, that is Human Resource Management, and the functions of HRD, that is Human Resource Development. So let us discuss the meaning of human resource management. As you can see, human resources management, or we can also call human resource, we can also call it as person. So human resources management or personal management is concerned with the acquisition, that means gaining or raising or acquiring the human resource, the people who will be helping in the organization, their development, compensation, that means what we are paying them in return of their services, and maintenance of an efficient and dedicated workforce. That means to sustain the efficient and hardworking workforce. So this is HRM all about. What is HRM? It is HRM is also known as personnel management, and it is concerned with the acquisition, development, compensation and maintenance of an efficient and dedicated workforce. Then this was the meaning of HRM. Now we are doing the definition. This definition is according to Edwin Filippo. Edwin Filippo stated that human resources management means, in his words, the planning, organizing, directing, and controlling of the procurement, development, compensation, integration, and maintenance of people for the purpose of contributing to organizational, individual, and societal goals. So, this was the definition given by Edwin Filippo of human resource management. He said that human resource management basically includes the planning, that means how many human resources we require, what should be the quality, what should be the qualification, etc. Then organizing, that means arranging them in a hierarchy or whatever the job profile is there, directing, giving them the job and instructing them what is the work to be done by them, and controlling, to see whether they are doing the assigned job in the best possible manner, efficient manner or not. And these planning, organizing, directing and controlling, all these things the organization does in order to procure, that means to raise or to appoint human resources, their development, then for paying them for their services, integrating them, coordinating their efforts, and after doing all this, maintaining the so efficient staff for contributing to, or we can say for achievement of the goals of the organization, of the each individual, or the goals of the society. So this was the definition given by Edwin Filippo. Now, as you can see, we have to start with the functions of human resources department. It is also known as HRD. So this question might be asked as functions of human resources department, or it might be asked as functions of HR, or importance of HRD, or objectives. So these functions can be asked either by way of objectives or importance, or objective functions or importance. As you can see, there are 6 functions of HRD: procurement of human resource, development of human resource, compensation, integration, records and research, and maintenance. So let us discuss these functions in detail. The first function is procurement of human resources. That means we are hiring the human resource. So in order to hire them, there are a number of process. First we have to plan out that how what is the post of the human resource, then how many people needs to be hired, etc. Then we have to invite them, we have to inform them that there are certain vacancy. Then when the people apply, then we have to select them, and then we have to place them in the job, etc. So the first function is procurement of human resource. As you can see, the procurement function is concerned with the employment of right number and right type of people in the enterprise. So in this function, we identify that what is the correct number of people to be employed is there in the organization, and it ensures that we appoint the right type of people. That means we appoint the efficient people for which the vacancy is there. Procurement function further consists of various following activities. The very first activity is the human resource planning, which in short we call it as HR planning. So HR planning or human resource planning involves estimating the future manpower requirements. That means it involves the estimation as to predict that what will be the manpower requirements. That means what will be the number of employees needed to be employed, then what should be their qualification, what should be the eligibility criteria, what should be the age, what should be the societal background, what should be the marital status, what should be the experience required, etc. Then evaluating the existing manpower. After ensuring how much the manpower is required, after that the second step in HR planning is to evaluate the existing manpower, whether the people whom we are already having, whether they match up to the manpower requirements or not, and if any extra manpower is required, then we have to ascertain that. Then we have to identify the gap between the demand for an internal supply of manpower. That means then we have to see whether our manpower requirements, how much of it can be supplied or satisfied with the manpower we already have in the organization. Maybe by way of transferring one person from one department to another, our manpower requirement is fulfilled, or by promoting some junior staff to the senior post, our manpower requirement is fulfilled, like that. Then and formulating and programs for bridging the gap, and after that we have to make a number of plans to bridge this gap, to fill this gap between the manpower required and existing manpower. If more are required, then we will be hiring more. If less are required, then we'll be terminating the existing ones. After ascertaining that what will be the amount of manpower required, we need to do the step of recruitment. Recruitment is also the part of procurement of human resources. Now, under recruitment, what happens? Recruitment means the process of identifying and exploring the sources of required manpower and choosing the right source. So, in recruitment, we need to identify that which are the areas from where we can gain our manpower so required, and what are the correct sources. For example, if your school wants to hire more of the teachers, so if there are 5 teachers to be hired, that is the manpower requirement, then they will be determining the source from where they can hire the teachers. Maybe they can contact the colleges who are offering B.Ed, so they will be in touch with the final year B.Ed students, so they can be approached so as to fulfill our manpower requirements. And also we can if any organization wants some employees to be hired, then it can also contact various employment agencies, etc. And after analyzing all the sources available, whether campus recruitment is there, whether the employment agencies are there, then maybe advertisements are there that can be adopted to give in the newspapers, etc. Then walk-in interview can be done, that is, a poster can be there and put up at the gate, and advertisement can be done that it is a walk-in interview. Anybody who is fulfilling the eligibility criteria can come to appointment. So after analyzing all the sources, the right source should be selected. So Recruitment, it is a positive process because it involves creating a pool of candidates. Recruitment is considered to be a positive process because under recruitment we are inviting, the firm or the organization is inviting the employees, the candidates, basically the future employees, the candidates, to come and apply for the job. So there occurs a boom, a pool of candidates applying a job. A lot of people, more and more candidates apply for the job. Therefore recruitment is a positive process. After recruitment, after the candidates have applied, what the organizers or the organization or the hirers have to do is they have to scrutinize all the applications received by the prospective candidates. All the details have to be checked in. Then after scrutinizing all those candidates application which are fulfilling your eligibility criteria have to be scrutinized, and the right person, the best eligible person for your job is selected under selection process. So basically selection is the process of choosing the most suitable persons out of all the candidates who offer themselves for appointment. So basically selection is a process whereby we select the best person fit for the job and we reject rest of the persons or candidates applications. Selection procedure involves several steps such as scrutinizing of applications, tests, interviews, medical checkup, checking references, issuing appointment letter, etc. So while selecting the best suitable candidate, a number of steps have to be followed. For example, scrutinizing their application to see in the primary stage whether they are fulfilling the eligibility criteria or not. Then second is test, it may be aptitude test or some skill test. Then interviews can be done to check their in-depth knowledge and their confidence and their attitude when they are put in pressure. Then medical checkup to check their fitness, etc. Checking references, that means checking the people if they can give their guarantee, or not basically guarantee, but they can give the reference that the person is not fraud or he is not giving any false declaration, etc. Then issuing, after being satisfied, the last step is to issue appointment letter. Now, as you can see, it is written here that it is a negative process. Recruitment is a positive process. Why? Because it creates a pool of candidates. More and more candidates apply for the job. But selection is just the opposite of recruitment. Selection is a negative process because in selection, we choose the best candidate suitable for the job and we reject rest of the candidates. So basically, in selection, the number of candidates rejected are more than the number of candidates selected, and therefore selection is considered to be a negative process. So this can be the difference between recruitment and selection. The fourth point under procurement of human resource function is the placement. Once you have done your HR planning, once you have already recruited the people, candidates have applied for a job in your organization, and then you have selected the best suitable candidate for your job, the last step related to procurement function, gaining the human resource function, is placement. That means after appointing, after selecting the candidates, you are putting the so selected candidate in the right job according to his skill, qualification, etc. So under placement, as you can see, persons are appointed on probation for a period of 1 or 2 years. Basically, initially, whenever any person is given any job, the person is hired on a probationary period. In simple words, we can say it is kind of a trial period. So the probationary period can be of 1 year or 2 years or 4 years or 5 years, depending upon the policies of the organization. So in this period, what happens? An eye is kept on the candidate whether he is fit for the particular job practically or not. So after successful completion of the probationary period, the employee is confirmed on the job. After completing the probationary period, the employee is confirmed on the job. Once the organization is satisfied with the probationary period, the candidates are made, or basically the employees are made confirmed, permanent. So the persons selected for appointment are put on specific jobs under this placement function. It is basically the process of matching the candidates with the jobs, means appointing them the jobs according to their skills and qualification. After successful completion of the probationary period, the employee is confirmed on the job, and persons who are found unsuccessful during probation period may be transferred to other jobs or may be terminated. That means maybe it might happen that a candidate is eligible, he is selected for a job, but when he is put under the practical conditions, under the working of the organization, when he is appointed actually to work for the particular job, it might happen that he is making some mistakes or he is not able to cope up. So he might be checked during the probationary period, and if he is able to cope up with that, if he is able to complete his probationary period successfully, then he may be confirmed. And if any candidate fails during the probationary period, he might either be shifted to some other job in the organization for which he is actually suited, or he might be terminated. So these 4 points or the sub functions were the functions of procurement of human resource. First is HR planning, that is human resource planning, then recruitment, then selection, and then placement. Sometimes the children question specifically asks to explain the procurement function only. So in that case, you will explain only these 4 points. Now let us see the difference between recruitment and selection. This question is asked many a times as a short question. So the first difference is on the basis of the meaning. Recruitment means the process of identifying and exploring the sources of required manpower and choosing the right source. So in case of recruitment, what we are doing is we are identifying that how much of the manpower is required, and we are looking over the sources from where we can get the required manpower, and after analyzing the sources, we are selecting the right source, not the candidates. We are selecting the right source to hire manpower requirements. Then selection is the process of choosing the most suitable persons out of all the candidates who offer themselves for appointment. So in case of selection, we choose the best suitable candidates and we reject the rest. The second point of difference is recruitment is a positive process as it creates a pool of eligible candidates, as we have discussed earlier, and selection is a negative process as it rejects the unsuitable candidates and selects only few. So these were the differences between recruitment and selection. The next function after procurement is development of human resources. Once we have hired them, selected them and given them the job, now the function arises of developing them. That means making them much more better. So development refers to preparing employees for present and future jobs in the organization. That means in this function, the HRD, the Human Resource Department, is working on their overall development so that they can justify the jobs they are working in, and also to make them competitive and efficient for future jobs in the organization. So it further consists of the following 2 activities. The first one is orientation. Orientation is also known as induction. Basically, in this function, the HRD introduces human resource so selected with the jobs, with the organization. The selected candidates are made familiar to the organization. Basically, induction or orientation is the socialization process by which new employees are adjusted in the enterprise. They are very formally or informally introduced in the organization. They are informed about their seniors, their subordinates, the various canteen, then the all the facilities which the organization has, their cabin, their job profile, etc. They are formally introduced to their boss, their subordinates, their colleagues. Then lectures may be organized whenever senior managers inform the new employees about the enterprise and its activities and encourage them to work hard. A meeting can be organized whereby the lectures can be taken by the senior managers or the senior staff to introduce them, to inform them about the policies etc of the enterprise, then introducing them with the other employees, encouraging them to work hard. Then the new employees may be taken around the factory and office. A handbook containing details about the history, operation, policies, etc. may be distributed to the new employees. Maybe a handbook or a rule book of the organization. What are the do's and don'ts when you're working in that particular organization can be given to the new employees. Then orientation helps new employees to feel at home in the new environment and concentrate on their work. So, with the help of induction or the orientation, the new employees can be made comfortable. The second activity under development of human resources is the training. Training means you are helping somebody to do a particular job or particular task. So every kind of job requires certain kind of training, whether be it a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher, anything. So basically training is the process of imparting knowledge and skills so as to make a person competent for performing a job. Training is the process whereby knowledge and skills are given to a person so that he is competent enough, he becomes efficient enough for performing a job. Training is basically a major function of HRD in all the departments. It is necessary and beneficial definitely for both the employer and employee. Why it is beneficial for the employer? Because if the person, the candidate, the employee is trained enough, then he will be able to do better quality job, better quantity job in less time. So definitely the cost will be less, because of which the employer will be benefiting. The employer then need not be checking the employee again and again. He need not be explaining him again and again certain tasks etc. And why is it beneficial for employee? Because then employee can do the particular job more efficiently, because of which his performance appraisal will be more. He can develop himself, he can develop his skills, and he can do better tasks. Therefore the employee will have better opportunity for further promotion etc. So this is beneficial both for employer as well as employee. Trained employees cause less accidents and less wastage of resources. It helps to improve the job security, because if the people are trained, they will be doing better jobs in lesser time. So there will be a job security. There will be less tendency to lose their job. It will increase their earnings, and it will also increase their career prospect, as in they can be promoted very soon. Then several on the job and off the job methods are used to impart training. Training can be given via two methods. One is on the job training and one is off the job training. So basically on the job training is a type of training whereby a person is trained, is imparted knowledge and skills while he is doing the job. For example, let's say if you hire somebody, some mechanic or somebody, then while he is performing the job, you can guide him, this is to be done like that etc. So this is on the job training, and it is also known as learning by doing. Then another form of training is off the job training. So under off the job training, the employee is giving training outside the job, that is for example in a classroom. So if the training is given off the job, that means outside the job, then in that case a formal environment, a job like environment can be made, and in that the employee is trained. So these are the 2 points involved in development of human resources, that is orientation and training. The third function of HRD is compensation. Obviously, when we are hiring human resource and we are hiring their services, we are using them, so definitely the organization requires to pay the human resource or the workforce, and it has to be the compensation, whatever is to be paid, has to be decided with utmost care, so that whatever the expectation of the employees are there in terms of compensation, the justifiable expectation, that should be able to be satisfied. Compensation function involves the determination of fair and equitable remuneration of employees for their contributions towards the achievement of organizational objective. That means under this function, the HRD, the Human Resource Department, aims to decide to determine the fair, the reasonable and equitable remuneration. That means the remuneration according to the qualification and job profile of each employees. Why we are giving them compensation? We are giving them compensation because they are contributing towards the achievement of organizational objectives. In the determination of equitable remuneration for different types of personnel or human resource, the use of job evaluation, performance appraisal and such other techniques of wage and salary administration is useful. While the organization or the HRD decides the salaries or wages, the compensation, the bonus or perks, the extra benefit for the employees, it needs to take into account a number of points. For example, evaluating the job, evaluating their performance, how much better they have done, how much extra they have done, then if there are any loopholes, then their payment needs to be cut, etc. Then their qualification, their job profile, then their tenure, etc. So all these points are kept in mind while deciding the fair and equitable remuneration of the human personnel or workforce. The fourth function is integration. As you can see, integration is concerned with the reconciliation of interest of employees with the organizational goals. That means in integration, we are coordinating, we are harmonizing, we are bringing together the goals of both the organization as well as the employees. It should not be so that only the goals, the objectives of the employees are fulfilled or only the objectives of the organization are fulfilled. No. It has to be made sure that both their goals are coordinated and well satisfied. It involves the creation of sound industrial relations by establishing an efficient system of two-way communication between management and workers. It should be seen, it should be made sure that every employee, their grievances, their problems are heard in the organization, they are very much solved, and there is a harmony, there is a peaceful industrial relation. That means there is a peaceful relation between the employees and the management, the seniors and the subordinates, and there should be a two-way communication. It should not be monotonous. That means whatever the employers are guiding, instructing, the employees also should have the right to give the feedback or clear their queries or solve their grievances. The fifth function of HRD, that is Human Resource Department, is maintenance. So maintenance function involves the creation of proper working condition so that personnel may work with dedication and efficiency. Sound working conditions help to ensure the health, safety, welfare, motivation and morale of employees. So after you have procured the human resource, selected them, you have trained them, you have given them the compensation, you are harmonizing their objectives with that of organization, efforts also needs to be made to maintain our efficient employees, to sustain them in the organization, to protect their interest. So basically it involves creation of proper working condition. The safety should be there, hygiene should be there, proper ventilation, lighting facility should be there. The organization, there should be freedom from unnecessary noise. The right temperature should be there. Proper sanitization should be there, and sanitation should be there, etc. Then if possible, so benefit for the staff, family should also be given if possible, to an extent. For example, their children's education, then sports facility, recreational facility, cafeteria can be given to them, restrooms, group insurance facility, etc. So all these extra perks helps in sustaining and maintaining the efficient employees in an organization. Then the last function as per this flow chart here is records and research. So systematic and up-to-date records of absenteeism, employee turnover, industrial accidents, industrial disputes, wage payments, grievances, etc. are necessary to help top management in the formulation of appropriate personnel policies and procedures. That means a systematic record should be kept from time to time, that as per what is the employee absenteeism, means how many employees are absenting themselves for how long, their record basically. Then the record of industrial dispute, any disharmony, then what the wages have been paid, then what are the grievances of the employees or the employers, to what extent they have been redressed or solved, etc. Why? Because it helps the top management to frame further policies for the future, so that the loopholes can be identified and they can be rectified. Personnel research involves the human resource research or personnel research involves the collection and distribution of data to identify the causes of various personnel problems like absenteeism, labor turnover, accidents, disputes, etc. Basically, these records helps in the research of human resource. And research of human resource means analyzing what are the root causes of loopholes, of employees absenting themselves, of employees coming late to the organization, then the disputes arising, strikes, lockouts, etc. So that all these barriers can be overcome and solved in the future. So these were the functions of HRD, that is Human Resource Department, which can also be written as importance or objectives of Human Resource Department. I hope it is clear to you, children. So this is the assignment based on this topic. You have to answer the following question, short question in your register. And when I say short question, that means you have to write it for a 2 marks question. Question number 1 is you have to define human resource management. In this you can write the definition which we have discussed in the video by Edwin Filippo, which says human resource management means the planning, organizing, directing and controlling of the procurement, development, compensation, integration and maintenance of people for the purpose of contributing to organizational, individual and societal goals. The second question is what is human resource planning? So in this you can write the meaning of human resource planning, that is human resource planning is the process of forecasting the number and type of personnel required to fill up various positions in the enterprise during a given period of time in future and preparing plans for meeting the forecast manpower needs. The second question is what is placement? So you can write the meaning of placement here, that placement is the process of matching the candidate with the jobs. Then the next question is what is orientation? In this you will be writing the meaning of orientation or induction. That is, orientation or induction is the socialization process by which new employees are adjusted in the enterprise. They are formally introduced to their boss, subordinates and colleagues. The fifth question is distinguish between recruitment and selection. You can write the differences in the tabular form as we have discussed in this video, that recruitment is the process of inviting more and more candidates to apply for a job, analyzing the source of recruitment and choosing the best source. and selection is the process of selecting the best suitable candidate and rejecting the rest unsuitable candidates. Then another difference can be that recruitment is a positive process and selection is a negative process. Then question number 6, you have to name the elements of procurement functions of human resource department. So there were 4 elements. First element being human resource planning or manpower planning. Then second element was recruitment. Third element selection, and fourth element placement. Then question number 7, you have to name the elements of development function of human resource department. There are 2 elements. First is orientation or induction and second is training. Then you have to answer the following long question in your register. Long question, that means you have to explain it. You have to write it in detail as per 5 marks question. You have to explain the functions of human resources department in a large business. In this, you have to explain the procurement function in brief, then development function in brief. You can explain integration, you can explain maintenance and records and research. So I hope the chapter is clear to you children. Do revise the video, do go through the video once again. Complete your written work in your registers and learn the chapter. Thank you children. Take care.